Hello, CraftBorg. Here I am. It's Rosemary. And hey, let's see if I can keep it under 10 minutes this week. That would be lovely, wouldn't it? So here we go. I'll jump right in and say, how are those Ravel Olympics going? I have been away all weekend and got back sometime Monday, which means I haven't knit at all since Sunday in the car. And sock number 1 is done. I finished it while at a conference. I know normally a plain sock with self-striping yarn isn't all that exciting, but when I'm surrounded by 1,500 plus Harry Potter fans, I'm just shocked at myself that I was able to get that much done. So anyway, so yeah, since the start of Olympics, I've got one sock done. I haven't knit yet since I've been home, so while we talk, I just cast on using Judy's Magic Cast On, sock number 2. And I love the way self-striping yarn works sometimes, because I just cut the yarn, and started with the same spot on each ball. So I think the stripes will come out about the same. And let's see, I'm casting on 16 stitches to each 5, 10, 15 needle. So I need one more stitch on each one. Have y'all seen how this is done? Let me take some out. Alright, let's see. I've got 5, 10, 12. $13, 14, 15, 16. Not that you can see that, but so now I've got the same amount of stitches on each needle. 5, 10, 15, 16. I think I cast on more stitches at the beginning of a toe than, a lot of people do, but I just like a wider toe. I don't really like the pointy thing going on. Anyway, I'll knit while we talk. So yeah, a lot of you know I was at the Terminus Harry Potter conference in Chicago, which is my hometown, although I hadn't been back for years. And something I couldn't stop talking about the entire time was the weather, which is so lame. But, the weather. It was excellent. When it's been in the hundreds in Oklahoma, where the heat is so dry. The 70s and 80s near Lake Michigan in Chicago, gorgeous. And, so, Terminus. Yeah. If I didn't get to meet you and you were there, I am so sorry. It is really hard to find time to say hello to everybody. In fact, there are people that I promised I would say hello to, at least, if not have a nice drink with or something. Never got around to it. I did meet Omli, who is one of our regular commenters, and she also test knitted my Harry Potter house Fair Isle bags that I love so much. So she had hers there. Well, I don't know if she had hers there, but I saw a couple floating around, as well as a couple that I had made for people. And that was really kind of cool, I'm not exactly like a knitting superstar, but, to see that people are making my pattern and enjoying it. Not that I should be surprised that stuff like that shows up at the Harry Potter conference. There are all kinds of knitted items. As a knitter, you can't help but notice that. People walk by, oh, look at that sweater. It was awesome. And in Phoenix Rising, the year before in New Orleans, there was a conference called Phoenix Rising that was also a Harry Potter thing. And there was some crafty stuff there. Excuse me, by the way, my voice is really still gone from the weekend. But I was really impressed with how much crafts were represented at this conference as well. I went to a crochet workshop by my friend Amber that was really super excellent. And the room was packed, and I think people really enjoyed it. But we hardly got past the foundation chain for crochet, and then practiced maybe just a single stitch, but perhaps we got further than that. Anyway, throughout the rest of the weekend, I heard a lot of good things about that particular thing. And there was also a knitting one that I intended to go to but didn't make it to. I was always about like 10 minutes too late all weekend for some of the stuff I wanted to do. But I'm sure the knitting thing went well. As, you know, when people want to make Harry Potter things, I think the first thing they hear of or they think of is the Harry Potter scarf. So, I mean, that's kind of what brought me around to knitting too, I think, is I wanted to make a Harry Potter scarf. So I did. So I learned. But so I'm sure that was very well attended as well. And then in the art gallery, you know, there's a lot of the traditional media fan art things going on, pencil and painting and whatnot. But there was like some really excellent handmade dolls, a hand-stitched mobile that had, you know, it was Quidditch themed. I love that. My friend Amber had some of her crocheted blankets in there as well, naturally. Something else I went to, my friend Shay makes handbags out of duct tape, the colored duct tape, and all of them feature a hand-cut Harry Potter themed, well, not always Harry Potter themed, but for the purposes of this conference, Harry Potter themed design. And some time ago, she had posted this video that she also showed then in her presentation on YouTube of the whole process of her bag making with the duct tape. And she filmed it over 3 hours, but then later just decided to speed it up and put it to some music. And it was the most trippy, excellent thing you'll see. And since I think it's on YouTube still, I'm going to try to post it down there in the same post so that you can see it too, because it's totally worth seeing. It was really excellent being in that particular presentation. And a lot of us knew her and had seen her video before, but a lot of people hadn't. And it was fun to see everybody's reactions to the magic of crafting. And, phone call, sorry. Yes, I love seeing all the way crafts are represented in the con. It's funny how knitting and crafts really are important, an important part of the fandom. Not to mention the cosplayers and costumers at these things. You know, a lot of people, and I'm not going to judge, but, you know, a lot of people can just go and get, you know, an officially licensed costume. And I'm sure since you're Borg fans, you've seen this at Star Trek conferences as well. You can just get an officially licensed costume, which is great. But a lot of people's craft has to do with the character they're cosplaying. They will hand make their, or at least hand piece from multiple sources, their costumes, and spend an excellent amount of time on their hair and their makeup and their mannerisms and acting and accents. It is very inspiring to me. And because there's so many fabulous, interesting people walking around, I could totally stroll around with my sock, knitting, you know, looking like sort of blending in. Because, you know, at any other place that's not a Harry Potter conference, they might be like, who's the weird girl walking around with, what is that, knitting? Is she knitting? Yeah, I love that. I was just people watching, you know, on some of my downtime with some knitting in my hands, walking around. I love it. So anyway, I think I'm probably getting close to the 10-minute mark, and I will try to catch up. You know what? One more thing before I go. I think I mentioned before that I sort of got the idea for this regular vlog format we've got going from some of the people in the Harry Potter fandom. You know, groups that know each other from other cons or websites or whatever, you know, will have a blog that each of the members of the group will have a designated day or time to post their video. And I discovered recently, because I was around these people, that often if they miss their day or if they're late, like Julie and I almost always are, They have to do some sort of punishment that generally involves humiliation. I think I'm up for that. So, not that Julie will love this so much, but not if, but when we miss, I think we're going to start to have to doing punishments. That will be funny. I'm looking forward to that. You should also email us or post down there some suggestions for what might be a fun punishment for not if, but when we miss or are late. School is starting soon, so I don't anticipate I will be as late as I usually am, or will miss as much. And I'm home for a while, so maybe I'll be getting more stuff done anyway to talk about. What do you think? Anyway, I'll say goodbye and do my obligatory, I'm sorry I'm late, moment. I'll see you soon.